Om. साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। Om. Offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Mother Sai, who is so merciful that he bestows on us his message, his ambrosia, through people who have experienced it. And today we have someone who is no exception to that, who calls himself, as all of us should do, as a member, a Sevadal member of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization, which is by far the role defined to all of us when Swami created the organization. And added to that, he has spent over 25 years in various Indian missions abroad in almost all continents, working in different capacities as First Secretary, Counsellor, Charge d'Affaires, Counsel General of India, and Head of Indian Missions abroad, handling political, consular, economic and cultural matters of the Indian missions in those countries. All that can be said of our speaker, the biggest qualification has been the fact that he is a member of the Sathya Sai Seva organization and continues to serve as an active Sevadal member in the state of Andhra Pradesh. We are blessed and privileged and grateful to Swami to have with us Brother C. Rommel today on the Sai Govind Satsangh, and looking forward to hearing what Swami has as this Ram Navami message for us today. Over to you, Brother Rommel, and looking forward to hearing what Swami has to say through you. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Our collective pranams, our collective love, our collective submission to the lotus feet of our beloved Swami on this holy birthday of Lord Rama. When Venkat sir, when you are saying, repeating this Sai Gayatri, it's a must that all of us, whenever we repeat the Sai Gayatri, we should feel the touch of Mahasamadhi. Because when we have the darshan of Mahasamadhi, this particular Sai Gayatri is played on, and we have got to have the feel of Swami's lotus feet. In Prashanti Nilayam, whenever we sing this particular mantra, Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Prachodayat. Respected Venkat sir and your wonderful team. Excuse me, sir. 1 second. Yes, sir. It's Venkat sir and your Sai Govind team. I'm delighted that today I'm given an opportunity to share some of my experiences with your wonderful Sai team, Swami's team. I know that you just mentioned to me that we had about 110 such sessions, and so Swami would be so pleased to have so many so many satsangs with each and every one of you. I'm blessed to be here today, to be a part of you this evening. What is the most important fact in our life? Swami told once that we are born only to serve. Once our Sevadal leader, Mr. Ramana Rao, said, "Oh, these are the boys who are working very hard, very nice. Swami, please bless them." Then Swami told very casually, "They're just born to serve. What is surprising in it? We are all born to serve Swami. That is one of the greatest blessings which we all have." And one particular occasion when Swami had a Ramayana session in Purnachandra Hall for about 3 days, one of our good friend, Mr. Subramaniam, who was a vice chancellor in Hyderabad Telugu University, he was the event manager, and he was given a wonderful chance of organizing this seminar on Ramayana. For weeks, he worked very hard. He got hold of wonderful professors, and they came to Parthi. At the end of the 3-day session, Swami is so pleased with all the scholars, he gave them, at the end of the session, silver plate to each one of them. And Swami was able to give one to our Subramaniam also, Vice Chancellor. Swami withdrew that plate and did not give him. And then the Subramaniam felt so humiliated. He thought, "Oh, my Swami, in front of all, I'm not receiving your grace." Then that night, he did not travel back with those scholars, but he stayed back. Next day morning, Swami walked up to him in the darshan line and told him, "Subramaniam, I've sent away them with the silver plates, but for you, I've given myself to you. You do not need a silver plate." And with this, Swami blessed him with a golden ring and gave it to him. In this way, we have to understand that we are all born with silver plates, silver spoons in our mouth. We are all very well off. It's a time for us to sacrifice like Lord Rama. Being a king, being a Maharaja for 14 years, it's just impossible for anyone to think to staying for 14 years in a forest without a proper shelter, right food, and any security whatsoever. Yet, the Lord Rama stayed on for 14 years. When we come to Puttaparthi, we ask for a luxurious room. We ask for all the facilities, even if we have to stay for 14 days or 14 hours. We have to change our attitude now. Unless we change our attitude now, we will not be able to move ourselves forward. We will just be with silver plates, silver spoons, and enjoying all the so-called Maya, things of Maya. It's a time that we Sai devotees should understand that we are born to serve Swami. We are born to serve Swami. And it's a special blessings. It is not in one janma or 2 janmas, but we have done tapas for many years to get this life of being a Satyasai Sevadal. This we have to understand. You may or may not be a Sevadal member by scarf and badge, but always we should imagine that we have a scarf and badge, permanent scarf and badge given by Swami in our heart. Every moment we have got to be a servant of all the devotees, not only devotees, the whole world. It is our primary duty now. Swami has given us 10 years extra life for each one of us, believe it or not. Swami gave his body 10 years ahead so that each of his devotees get 10 years plus of life. In our own, suppose if I have to live for 72 years, Swami has definitely gave me another 10 years plus. In this way, Swami blessed us with this extra life, not only to me or to any Sevadal member, to all his devotees. This we have got to remember. We all know how Swami saves us. So many accidents or so many problems, he helps us to come out. This is all additional life he gives us. Now, unless we use it for the Sathya Sai mission, we will not be fulfilling our duty to Swami. In Ramayana, we also know how Mother Sita, Lakshmana, Bharata, Urmila underwent so much of hardships, being gods themselves. And look at our own Shirdi Baba in the recent times. We all know that he's lived so simply in a dilapidated mosque. There's no shelter when if it rains, no sunshade, but yet he managed all his life in Shirdi, giving the message of total simplicity. Now we want, if we have one car, we want to have 2 cars or 3 cars. We want a single bedroom. Now we want to have 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom. We want all types of luxuries and getting into the Maya. This is the day, on the Rama's day, we got to see how best we could simplify our lives. First thing, if you want to be a Sevadal, we have to simplify our lives as simple, as sincere as possible. We all know also how Swami used to live with just 2 or 3 pets when he was a small child. And again, we also know how his room was in the first 60 years of his life. There's not even an air conditioner there at the time. And simply 1 bed, 1 cot, 1 simple one. Likewise, we got to make our life as simple as possible, putting all the ceilings on all desires which come and corrupt our mind. Our thought, word, and deed have to become one with Swami. That we've got to focus. Our focus is on something, careers, on our family, on our health, all other things other than Swami. We give Swami the last choice. This is not our, but we are not ordinary devotees. Sathya Sai has told us so many times, Swami told us so many times, I've selected each and every one of you. You have become my devotees because of your prayers from your ancestors, from your last birth, good karma, you have got this. Now we cannot afford to do away with this. Therefore, dear children of Swami, please make a firm resolution every day in the morning, because by the time the evening comes, we get into the Maya again. Every moment we have got to pinch ourselves and tell Swami, I am born as your Sevadal. Please give me Seva. Unless we plead Swami Seva, we will not get it. I'll also just relate a small incident which Swami told us in Kulvanthal about Lord Hanuman. After Ramayana war was over, these brothers, Bharata, Lakshmana, Sugriva thought, Shatrugna thought, if Hanuman is there around Lord Rama, he will not give us any chance to do any type of seva. Therefore, it's better. They went to Hanuman and told him, sir, you have done a lot of seva, now go to Himalayas and relax. Please don't come in between. We want to do a lot of seva. And they made a list of all the seva items, which for bathing Rama, for serving breakfast to Rama, everything they allotted different duties, and they gave him the list. And they left no duty whatsoever to Hanuman. Then Hanuman was feeling so bad. Without service, how can I live? Then he went to Rama and pleaded with him. Rama, please grant me a seva. Then Rama looked at the list and said, okay, they forgot one particular seva. When I get it on, somebody should be there to do tick, 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 to do that. You just ask that small seva. Then Hanuman went to Lakshmana and Bharata and said that, give me the small seva of doing tick, tick, tick when Lord Rama yawns. He said, oh, it's a small seva. Okay, take it. Next day morning, when they were to, it's Lakshmana duty to give shower to Lord Rama, and Hanuman is walking behind Rama. Then Lakshmana said, it's not your duty. Why are you coming? It's my duty to give a shower. Then Hanuman said, we don't know what time the Lord gets thee on. I got to be with him. Likewise, when Bharata was to serve the breakfast, Hanuman is there. For every duty, he was behind Rama. Likewise, we have to praise Swami and seek from him, Swami, I am not able to serve for certain reasons. I am not able to get a seva opportunity for some reason. Please grant me some seva. We have got to weep, weep, weep. Our duty is not to just to pray in your prayer halls and fulfill our, just say that, oh, Swami, I did my Gayatri mantra, I did my this mantra, I did my this puja. Swami told us very clearly, so long as we are healthy, we have to work. Once we become old, like me about 70, 80 years, then we got to anyway sit with the Japamala, become one with the Rama Nama. Ram, 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 like Hanuman, our every cell has to become into Sai Nama before we give up this life. That should be our goal, and that only gives the joy to Swami. We have to be very firm on this. I will also relate a small real thing which has happened. When I was in Sweden, the regional leader there for Europe, he held a study circle like this in Oslo, Norway. It was a sadhana camp where all the office bearers from 6 or 7 European countries, we all assembled in Oslo there in Norway. And then we had a 3-day session there. And at the end, I was also one of the speakers. At the end of my talk, a Norwegian said, I have a very difficult question for you. Will you be able to answer? Because it's very difficult. I am unable to get any answer, right answer. I said, I'll try my best. I will try to do my best. I'll pray Swami to give the right answer. Then he started off like this. You see, I love my wife very much. I love her very, very much. Every moment I think of her. My wife also loves me so much. We love each other. We have a son who is also very much attached to us. But one small problem is, for the last 2 years, Swami comes every now and then and tells, leave your wife, give up your wife, leave your wife. And I'm real dilemma. How can I divorce my wife? I love her so much. When I tell this dream, my wife cries. Oh, I am also a volunteer. You're also a good singer. You used to play guitar all the time. During the 3-day retreat also, he was playing Swami songs and guitar. You see, you're also active Sevadal member. I am also a good member. How can Swami come and tell us what to do? I do not want to divorce. And we have no answer for the last 2 years. And we don't want to disobey our Lord. At the same time, I don't want to divorce my wife. What should I do? Then for about a couple of seconds, I prayed Swami. And I don't know what I spoke. I said, Swami definitely wants you to leave your wife, not by way of divorce, but leave your wife from your mind. You have been thinking all the time, wife, 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 and your wife is thinking husband, husband about you all the time. If you both think about you, how will you get nirvana? Where is the place for the Lord, Swami? Therefore, Swami wants you to have detachment. Swami never says that you leave your wife or be unkind to them. Swami always tells that there must be unity in the family. There must be oneness in the family. And only thing is, you got to think less of her and focus on the seva, focus on the various activities that please Lord. Otherwise, you'll miss this golden opportunity of being a human being and getting near to the actual goal. In this way, then he came running and he hugged me. He said that, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I need not divorce my wife. In this way, we are always thinking about our careers, our children, our homes, our family members, and we keep Swami at the background, but we have to put him in the front. Always think of him, focus on him, and then we get the real strength of Lord Hanuman. And Swami also tells a beautiful example. how Bharata, look at Bharata. He came, he went all the way to the forest, took the sandals of Lord Rama. He went back. People thought that he will stay in the palace of Lord Rama and rule the kingdom. Definitely he ruled the kingdom, but he built a small hut adjacent to the palace. He put the lotus feet of Swami there and lived a very simple life, just in a hut, all the 14 years, waiting for Lord Rama. And look at Shabari. When she was 8-year-old girl, a Maharshi told her, oh, Lord Rama will pass this way. Every day, she prepared the fruits for her Lord. For until the age of 80 years, Swami never went there. And she had the great opportunity to offer fruits of her love to Lord when he walked that way. In this way, we cannot expect fruits immediately. We start praying and offering ourselves from now. When Lord Rama can stay for 14 years, when Lakshmana can stay 14 years in forest, when Pandavas, look at the example of Pandavas, being the closest friends of Lord Krishna, yet they had to spend 12 years, hard life in the forest. Now, if you have to go for seva for about 8 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours, or family members will start asking, when are you coming back? When you come back, get this, get that. In this way, we have to manage our family, tell them, plead with them, beg with them that, see, I don't want to lose my lifespan by attending to all this mundane things. Definitely we have to attend. Swami told us very clearly, 6 hours for our job, 6 hours for our sleep, 6 hours for our attending all course, and 6 hours for spiritual sadhana. We have to earmark every day, solid 6 hours. If your job doesn't permit you, use Saturday and Sunday. Do that 18 hours or 14 hours. This way we have to pray Swami. Swami will show us the way. It is not X, Y, or anybody can show us the way. Only when we weep, when we shed a tear on the lotus feet, Swami, please grant me the seva. Please grant me the seva so that I can enjoy oneness with you. What is seva? Seva has got different meanings. Suppose we just write a check and then give it. It is, Swami said number of times, send it to your income tax department or some other department and claim your rebate. But seva is one thing. When we kindle the light of Swami or God or Rama in somebody's heart, that is real seva. All this, once Swami told Ramana Rao, our Sevadal chief, all this poverty, this so-called hill actually helps others to come near to the God. We have to use that situation, that occasion, and show them the love of Rama, the love of Swami to them. We have to become one with them. You may just give a small piece of bread, but once you fill it with Ramanama, with Sai Nama, once he takes in, he'll be cured. Once in Sevadal member, I was in Hyderabad, the regional passport officer. Every Sunday we used to make it an appointment to attend hospital service in Usmania Hospital. It's a general hospital where all patients, they need a lot of help. We used to give them as per Swami's instructions. When he came to Hyderabad, he told that all of you will have to go to jails, to the hospitals and other places. Wherever they need help, you got to give them fruits, vibhuti packet, take, though in those days, letters, they were WhatsApp or not there. We got to take letters and write for them and do some seva. When we are going with a team of 8 Sevadal members to one particular row, and one bed we saw, a patient's blood was oozing from his nose, and his bed sheet was full of blood. And we thought that it is too awkward to ask him what is the problem and all that. We just slipped away that bed and went to the next bed. Then the wife of the patient came to us and said, why are you unkind to us? My husband, for last 64 days, he was bleeding through the nose, and our doctors are unable to solve it. why don't you come and give the Vibhuti Prasadam just as you given it to the next bed? We apologized. We prayed Swami. We knelt down around the bed. All our shirts and all got blood stained. And we prayed and told her very clearly, now mix this Vibhuti. Swami told, mix the Vibhuti in a glass, stir it in a spoon, and then give it to your husband. And with Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram Japam. That's all we can do. Then she said, no, we want blood. All our relatives, friends have given blood now. Then I told her very clearly, we have so many blood donors with us. Every day we'll send 3 or 4. Today being Sunday, there is no blood bank, but Monday morning they'll be there. Next day morning they'll be there. 4 of us will give the blood. Believe it or not, sir. When next day when we went to see the patient, he said that after you left, after half an hour, the blood stopped automatically. And we were so happy. Anyway, we gave the blood and came back. And next week when we went, the patient got discharged, hale and healthy. Vibhuti can do any miracles, anything. We got to use this formula. Once I thought, I became Sevadal member for 8 years. Everybody Swami gives them Vibhuti, materialized Vibhuti, gives them. But I thought, Swami, I've been coming and doing so much of seva. I also would like to have a small Vibhuti blessing from you. Why don't you give it? This monkey thought came, and I came from Hyderabad bus to Puttaparthi, and I landed in Puttaparthi, and I was not able to urinate that morning. I thought it's okay. Then again in the evening, I could not urinate the whole day. The next day also, I was not able to urinate. Then the doctor Krishna Reddy in the general hospital told me, oh my God, you got to rush yourself to Bangalore now. It is some serious problem. You will not be able to survive here in Puttaparthi. There's no such facility on dialysis or kidney. Rush it. Then I went to Kutumbrao, and he was very kind enough to put me on the first row, the patient's row there. I sat because I couldn't even wear a pant. I tied a lungi and then sat there. And then Swami came lovingly towards me. Hey, Miniku, Vibhuti kavala. And then Swami materialized Vibhuti and gave me the Vibhuti. And the moment he gave, my bladder was so full, I had to run away even from the darshan line to ease myself. In this way, Swami, we asked this Vibhuti, that miracle, this miracle, so many miracles. We don't need any miracle. We have got plenty of Vibhuti in our houses. We want, these miracles are definitely a must. When I was in Indonesia, believe it or not, the garlands, when you put it for a bhajan, a garland, with each song, the garland grows. How does the string increase its length? How the flowers, number of flowers increase? And they have to even roll it 3 times, 4 times, 6 times. This garland, that means Swami wants the garland of his devotees, the garland of seva has to increase multifold. Everything has got a significance. Why does Swami give a Vibhuti? Vibhuti keeps on reminding us. Once we keep a Vibhuti, it keeps on reminding we are ash. One day we are going to become 100% ash. We do not know. Once in Thailand, a monk told me, first 10 years will go away like that, 20 years, 30 years, 15 years. In a wink of eyes, our life is finished. We have got to realize the so-called oneness with Swami before we become ash. This way, we got to praise Swami. Swami, the joy which Tukaram has enjoyed, the joy which Hanuman has enjoyed, the joy which Shabri has enjoyed, the joy which all saints have enjoyed, please grant me that joy, that bliss, that seva. Once we keep praying Swami, Swami, I want to become one with you. I want to become nothing. Swami told us very clearly, number of times, even in the just few minutes back, I just told him about Subramaniam's Vice Chancellor's incident when he had not given any silver plate to him, but he gave him the gold ring later. Likewise, Swami wants to give us something better, something better. Therefore, do not be after miracles. Miracles come and go. There's only for the people who want a sign. We do not want any sign. We want oneness with God. That should be our perfect goal. In this way, we got to become one with Swami by doing seva, seva, seva. Seva is not at all that easy, sir. I know I've got lovely examples of Sevadal members. For instance, we have Dr. K. Narasimhan, sir, who is in charge of the medical hospital and mobile hospital here. One day I was surprised. He was having 104 temperature. On the previous night, he called me at 11 o'clock. He said that, oh, my body is aching and I have got very high temperature. I went to him and then saw he was running high temperature. Next day morning, believe it or not, at 7:30 when I called him up, he said that he's already on the way to mobile hospital. Likewise, we have got to depend on Swami. This Dr. Narasimhan sir, believe it or not, he has heart problem, he has a lung problem, he has kidney problem, all problems he has got. But yet, he does the seva with a total surrender. This type of love we need. All of us have some problems. All of us have some problem or other. Another excellent Sevadal member, Mr. Murthy Garu, we call him, in Vizag, he has given water to 410 villages so far in the hills, in the tribal hills. He made about 40,000 people to give up liquor in those Naxalite infested hillocks, tribals. He goes boldly. He doesn't bother about his life. He cares nothing. He says, Swami, Swami, Swami. And he made 40,000 people to give up liquor. In this way, we got to determine ourselves. We can make everything and anything out of us. At least we can at least attend the bhajan, a Nagar Sankirtan. Whatever little possible seva we have got to do it. Mr. Danesh Watwanisa from Jakarta, he sent me a picture once in Palembang when they were doing Nagar Sankirtan in Indonesia. From the sky, a torchlight kept on moving along the path of this particular Nagar Sankirtan route. Where does this light come? Where does the miracle come? Also in Medan, when Mr. Fova Krishnaputra sir and also Mr. Mohli were conducting a seminar on DHV, they could see Swami's bright light in the same shape all the time on the stage. There are a number of such miracles. When I was in Indonesia, when we wanted to start SSCHV class, the principal, when she did not agree, same day after we left our school premises, we saw, so I believe Swami appeared in all the ventilators of all the classrooms and blessed all the children. And then the principal had to come back to Fova Krishnaputra and tell him, please start the SSCHV classes. Once we have intention, we get everything. Now, Mr. Usli sir in Indonesia, he has determined to start every year 2-3 schools, SSCHV schools. Now he has got about 4,000 to 5,000 children studying in different schools. He's a Chinese gentleman and he wants to do a lot of seva. Like that, there are a number of many examples. In my college days, I know how Mr. Mohan sir has helped me. We'll have to work in unison. You should have a group of people. Unless you have a group of people, you'll not be able to do seva. You'll not be able to do all alone. Form a small group of yours where you can all go together, travel together and do some service. When I was posted in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, I asked my Filipino colleagues and all, they said that please do not know bhajans are allowed here in Saudi Arabia in Jeddah. It's a purely Islamic country and do not have any adventure whatsoever, even bhajans. Then he quoted an example that how a pastor's nails were removed and he was sent back on a Sunday Bible class when he was conducting. The mullahs came and raided and he was caught on the wrong foot and his fingernails were removed and he was sent back to Manila. Then I thought, yes, Swami says, follow the rules of the land. We cannot disobey the rules of the land. Then I was enjoying my diplomatic life for about 6 months, not doing anything except my own prayer room inside my house. All the pujas I've been doing. Then Swami comes in my dream and tells, Yenduku paniki rani vadu. That means, Yenduku paniki rani vadu. Twice he repeated. That means fit for nothing fellow. Fit for nothing fellow. Then what should I do? If Lord of Lords says, we are not fit for anything. I was just weeping for 2 or 3 days. put leave to my office. I do not know whether I have to submit my resignation to my foreign secretary or get back to Delhi. Then I thought it's a very cowardice to go back, because before going to Saudi Arabia, Swami signed a picture of his with the blessings, and he autographed and gave me that picture. Being a diplomat, I was allowed to carry all the Baba's books and pictures to that country. But others, even if it takes a Ganesha picture, they just have an objection to it. And then I prayed Swami, wept and wept. Unless we pray, unless we weep, Swami doesn't move. He tests us. Then practically I was having no food at all, and I told my wife, and feeling bad within myself. After 3 days, when I went to my office, I also saw such a big picture in my chamber, Swami's picture, because it's an Indian embassy property. We can have anything in our embassies, our favorite gods. And Swami students, Mr. Arul Selvanathan, who studied here in Puttaparthi, he walked into my chamber and saw Swami's picture. Oh, yeah, Swami's devotee. Why not we have bhajans like that? He just came on a Saudi British Bank assignment. His wife also is a devotee of Baba. They're actually from Sri Lanka, but posted in Jeddah. Then I told him the same problem. Then the student of Swami says, we are Swami students. We have no such thing as a fear. We are going to have it, sir. You've got a diplomatic house. We can have it in your house. There shouldn't be a problem. If we have to send back, we are ready to go back to Sri Lanka or India. They gave the strength. And another gentleman, Mr. Manoharan, he is also from Sri Lanka. Now he settled in UK. They all came forward. They said that we are going to have a bhajan. And they gave a beautiful idea. See, all of us will have to leave the chappals inside the room, bhajan room, not outside. If we leave the chappals outside, they will feel that, there's some prayers or some session is going on. Therefore, we used to leave all the chappals inside and then put on the board. Then they gave an idea. Today, this week, happy birthday, Rommel. Next week, happy birthday, Mr. Venkat. Third week, likewise, we used to have different names, wishing them with the balloons and happy birthday board and having the bhajans inside the house. In this way, 45-minute session we used to have, and even now the bhajans are on now. And again, Swami shows the miracle. A Danish doctor who operated a Saudi prince in Riyadh, in the capital, the prince was so happy. He asked him, what do you want? You performed my surgery so well. Then he said, I'm a devotee of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Please allow Satya Sai bhajans in Riyadh, in the capital of Saudi Arabia. They are being held. Likewise, we take one step. Swami takes hundreds of steps towards us. But that one step Swami will never take. He gave us the free will. He gave us the will. It is up to us to take forward. For that first step, we got to pray Swami. Swami, I'm a useless fellow. I'm not able to do it. Please do help me. In this way, if we start weeping Swami, weeping for Swami, weeping for Seva, then one day, it may be even 5 years, it may take 1 year, or it may take 1 day, depending on the earning which we have, Swami will definitely react and give us certain Seva. There is no big Seva or small Seva, high Seva in Swami's eyes at all. It's not the quantity, never matters. With what love we do Seva, when we touch the heart of other recipient, that really touches Swami's heart. In this way, we got to move forward in this life and make this life a yajna for Swami. Swami always quotes Urmila, the wife of Lakshmana. When Lakshmana said, I'm going with Rama, Urmila said, I'm so happy that you're going with Lord Rama, Rama's birth. Please go ahead. Do not think of me even for 1 second, even a fraction of a second, do not think. For 14 years, I believe, when Swami tells in the Kulvanta, she never even thought of her husband. Always Ram, 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 Ram. That is the greatest devotion we should all practice. our family members should encourage us to take the better steps and how each of us can progress. Swami has given us all families, wonderful support. Swami takes care of them. 100% takes care of them. That faith we should have. If we think Swami is God, he will God. If we think he's 100 mothers, 100 mothers. If we think we are 1,000 mothers, he becomes 1,000 mothers. If some others think foolishly the sand, he becomes the sand. Nothing for them. He just reflects. He's like a mirror. He reflects. Therefore, we have to firmly believe he is 1,000 mothers. Swami, again, in one Kulwanthal, he gave a beautiful story, anecdote. A king was there. He was a terror to all these people. People used to shiver looking at him. But one thing is, whenever he sees his wife, he has 5 wives. Whenever he looks at 5 wives, this fellow shivers. The king used to shiver, other way around. Then he thought, am I the only in the kingdom who really fear my wife, or any others also? Then he wanted to put a small test like that. He said, he called his minister. Next day morning, to put up 2 pandals. One pandal who can really control their wife should stay in pandal A. Those who are controlled by their wife should be in pandal B. Therefore, they made a very clear category, and all those who fear their wife should sit in pandal A and others in B. Morning 9 o'clock, the ministers all assembled, and everybody is going and sitting in the pandal where they fear their wife. The minister, the Senadipati, the treasurer. Then king was so happy, oh, it's not only me, that all others also fear their wives. And oh, this pandal was full and this pandal is totally empty. Then king was happy. Yes, it's not only my fault or my being, all the kingdom is like that. At that last moment, when they are able to close the function, a guy comes running all the way and sits in this other pandal, who can really control his wife. Then all were amazed. Oh my God, this is a real man who can really control his wife. And king invited him and told him to come to the stage and garland them, and told him, please tell us the secret. What is your secret? How you are able to control your wife? Please do tell us. Then this Maharaja is shivering. He said, Maharaja, I am just obeying my wife. My wife told me to sit in this pandal, not in the other pandal. She told me very clearly, I am following her instructions only. I'm just following her instructions. In this way, Swami told that we have 5 senses. Not 5, but like 5 eyes the king had. We have 5 senses. Any good thing we want to taste. We want to look at good thing. Everything we are in our senses. All the 5 senses control us. It's the time that Satyasai devotees, he said in that speech and discourse, that in the time that we should loosen grip with 5 senses. These are must, but you should keep them where they ought to be. Like Buddha, he always advised the middle path. We also seen another example of Lord Buddha being the king, the prince. For 45 years, he walked like an ordinary man without shelter, spreading the name of Lord, the unity of oneness. For 45 years, he could have enjoyed his princely life, but he gave up everything. Such as sadhaks also have to give up little by little. Then he advised, there's no point in giving up all things, but advise a middle path, a path which really, we don't go to the extremes of giving up everything, nor we attach ourselves too much to everything. Therefore, Swami also advises us this middle path when we do our service. He told us 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours. We have to try to give up this 6 hours time to Swami. This 6 hours will save us to realize what we are, why we came onto this earth, what is the purpose of life. In this way, we have to participate in number of seva activities. Look at the Pandavas, Nakula and Sahadeva, they don't do much. They're like these 5 fingers, these last 2 fingers. They just accompany this other 3 strong Pandavas, but these 2 small fingers, they don't do much. Likewise, we need not be Arjuna, we need not be a Bhima, but we can participate just as a onlooker and help them. Suppose a bhajan is going on, at least you can go and sit in the back and see, enjoy the bhajan and give your divine love to Swami and come back. Or attend a shoe duty or a chappal duty or some Narayan Seva duty, small duty. And we do not do big things. Swami is not at all bothered about the quantity of the seva. What is more thinking of us, that how we spend our time in the constant namasmarana. Like a bird has two wings, one is namasmarana, another is seva. This is a must. And our time is so precious. We're all wasting our time. We've got to see how best we could stop these gaps. In 24 hours time, we are wasting at least 6 hours time, each of us. That we have to plug in and see how best we can use our life for the betterment of humanity. We have got a bigger role now. We have to bring, Swami told in 2010, just about 2 or 3 months before his leaving his physical form, he called 150 students and also the students of Swami in Bhajan Hall, in the Bhajan Mandir, and told them, please do not forget to come to Puttaparthi. Come again and again. In the next few years, there will be many obstacles. Don't bother about them. Come to Puttaparthi and enjoy the divine grace and then go back. This is what he exactly told them, and told them to be united. Swami's only plea is we have to be one with all humanity, and we have to be our unity, purity, divinity is a must. First, unless there's a unity, how can we get purity? If we can't get purity, how can we get divinity? Therefore, unity is a must, which we should focus. It's a superb service. Each one is doing seva beyond words. I know from Ratnakar sir, for last 11, 12 years, every day attends Kulwant Hall. Every day, every time the Pathiyatras goes on. Even now, about 2,000 people have come from Hyderabad doing Ramayana Pathiyatra. And likewise, it's our duty as a small, simple Sevadal member, if we have to plead to Swami, Swami, please make unity in our own family, in our house, between the brothers and sisters, between the Sai Center members, between the different countries, so that our idea is to serve the humanity. Swami told very clearly that every inch will be with Satsangh Nama. We got to see that by Swami's 100th year, every inch, be it Africa, be it any other continent, everywhere the Sai name will have to reverberate. For that, we have got to firmly praise Swami, plead Swami, Swami grant me an opportunity and do some seva and bring all together on one platform. We'll pray on this birthday, for this 97th birthday, all the people come to Puttaparthi, enjoy the joy of bliss of Swami and give the love of Swami to the whole world. Today, the whole world is being divided with difficulties, hardships. It is now time for us to move forward, take the mission forward. We got to feel the responsibility. We may be just like a squirrel. A squirrel, we know in the Ramayana, how the squirrel rolled itself on the sand rolled and rolled, and to gather few sand particles and put it on the bridge, which Hanuman and all were building. Likewise, we are nothing more than a dry leaf. We are all dry leaves. It's Swami who acts. We are all big heroes. No one can claim that we are higher or bigger. Swami uses us for a particular purpose, depending on our earning, and then we give the chance to others. Therefore, we got to praise Swami. Swami, please give me an opportunity. Again, once Dr. Narasimhan said, being having the strength of an elephant, asking for a squirrel service, it is not good. If you're an elephant, do like an elephant service. If you're a squirrel, do like a squirrel service. As per our capacity, what we have to do, we have to do. We have to plead Swami and get into the full swing of action. Unless sometimes our health fails, health doesn't permit. Then, when I was in traveling, last time Mr. Narendra Reddy sir gave me the opportunity to travel to 18 different states in the US. Then we were taking the Padukas to every locality singing the Nagar Sankirtan. And then Swami came to one particular paralytic patient that I'm coming to your house today. When we took the Padukas, she was weeping. She said, only this morning I had the Swami's dream that I'm coming to your house. I thought what to do, but now the Padukas have come. Likewise, you got to take Swami's Padukas to every heart, every house, every inch, because Swami is not this body of 5 feet or just the form. He is nothing but universal one, universal love. We got to know this. We know all that we are nothing, we are big zeros, but we should allow Swami to come into us and work through us. With that humility, sincerity, simplicity, if we pray Swami, I'm sure that Swami will bless us in every way he chooses us to be his instrument. I thank you very much, Sir Venkat sir, for giving me this lovely opportunity to share my Swami's love with you all. And I beg you, I plead with you all, because I've already become old. I have no more role in this because my health sometimes fails. It's only the new generations, the next generation that have got to take forward the Swami's mission. We have no much time left, and it is, we have to plead Swami to take us forward. I thank you once again, Venkat sir, for giving me this opportunity. If any questions, I'd be happy.
Sai Ram sir, apt message to remind us of the role of Hanumans in being a Hanuman and aiming to be a Hanuman, working through seva whenever an opportunity that's given or seeking an opportunity. As you rightly said, we have time, so if anyone has got questions, can either type, I can read, or yeah, go ahead, Anand. You have.
Sairam. Sairam, brother. Sairam, my name is Anand. I'm from Singapore. My question, Sairam, my question is, can you please share the message of Sri Ram Navami to all the youth across, especially in the current context where mental health has become a big issue, challenge because of COVID-19 and many other reasons. What is the core message that Swami has delivered on Sri Ram Navami? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's the most appropriate question on Sri Rama Navami. Swami told us very clearly, sir, that when we sing a bhajan, one hand will have to become Hanuman, other hand should become Rama's. When we sing, we clap, we have to become one with Lord Rama. The main thing is Ram, 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 Ram. This is the most powerful word in this dictionary or in this life or in the universe. It is a magic word. You just try it. That's why we put it Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. Sai means Sa, we know mother, Ai, mother, and Ram is the most powerful word which Swami says. You see any of the lectures, sir, of Swami's discourses, in every discourse, there's invariably mention of Lord Rama's name, about the number of sacrifices he has made. Therefore, we got to read Rama Katha Rasavahini. Swami has written it with his own hands, a beautiful book. It's for youngsters. We got to, in our sadhana camps, we got to see how best we could send this book as a gift to all the youngsters. They can take out any page of Swami's Ramayana and read one paragraph and see for themselves. It will really transform their lives. As far as the COVID is concerned, you rightly made it as a Govinda, Sai Govinda. With the Govinda Nam, the COVID just disappears. Believe it or not, and we all, if anybody says they got a COVID last 2 years' time, we in the Sevadal, we are very proud to say, sir, We went to their homes. We had bhajans in their house. We had food in their house. If anybody says, "Oh, is it COVID positive?" we did with the name, we took all the precautions. Like we used to apply all the sanitizers, all the masks we had to keep, and at the same time, we entered their hearts. In this way, our youth should be bold enough. Just like Arul Selvanathan, he told very clearly, we are such a Sai devotees. We have no such things. At the same time, we got to take all precautions. We have got to ensure, sir, that our youth are given proper encouragement by all our elders. And another message which Swami tells about Ramayana is a role model. Rama is a role model. Any characteristics, Sita is a role model mother. Brother Lakshmana is a role model. Likewise, we have to become a role model to all human beings. I think so. This is what I can say. If you have anything else, you also kindly do tell us what is the message of Swami's message on Ramayana.
Sairam sir, we have one more question which goes like this. We have so much of wants, example, more money, build a good career, do well in exams, etc. How do we strike a balance between these wants and Swami?
Very right, sir. Every day, all of us are really bothered about this because it's we elders, we spoil them. Once we tell them, you see, we give our children everything, but we are forgetting to give them the values. It is a duty of all such as parents. Swami told number of times, it is a mistake of parents. We have to be very firm. The way they dress, the way they talk, the way they receive, we just give them all the lenience, and by the time they grow 14, 15 years, we want them to behave like saints. It's not possible. We got to give them the hard life, how Swami has treated his students. Look at the college. He just gives a small dormitory there. He doesn't even give them any privacy. One dormitory, one after one bed is there. Likewise, you have to give them very strict discipline. You have 5 rooms in your house or 3 rooms in your house, block all the rooms. Make all your children to stay together in one room. Let them live like a Bharata or like any other saint. This is the age. I know when I was working in Indonesia, a Chinese millionaire was there. He said that my children sweep the whole house. My children cook the whole thing. And not a servant is allowed. And he has given them that particular training. Unless we be very strict with our own children, by the time when they grow up, they will just control you. Therefore, we got to strike a clear balance. They have to enjoy their pocket money only after they are 18 plus. No freedom has to be given. It should be Gurukula life if they want to be such a Sai devotees. Some of them are definitely, they are not under our control. Then we have to praise Swami. Previously, you heard Geeta Mohan's talk, I think, in one of your satsangs. She said in one particular her talk I heard in US, she was a teacher, a Bal Vikas teacher, and one student was giving terrific time. In US, you can't beat children, you can't tell children, you have to only obey them. And she was not able to control her class because this is a naughty boy, and he was creating trouble to all of the students. And then she wrote a letter to Swami and put a resignation letter. Swami, please give me 3 weeks time. If I can't control this boy, I will resign. I will not do this job. And then after 3 weeks, once we write letter to Swami, once we submit to Swami, he brings in transformation. When we are not able to strike a balance between the career, between our work and all that, write a letter to Swami. We have seen in Swami's life, every day he used to pick up letters, so that he wanted eye contact. He wanted heart-to-heart contact. Not that he does not know what is in the letter. Once Professor Bashiruddin asked him, he was ambassador in Qatar, he asked, Swami address should I write to Kodai or to this address or to Puttaparthi address? Swami said, the moment you put your pen down, the message instantly reaches me. I do not need any address. You just tear away the letter. Likewise, every day we have to write to Swami. Swami, please balance my career. Please balance my seva work. Please take care of the family. Whatever, even if I have a little slight headache also, I write everything. Even today, if I'm coming to Satsangh, Swami, I say, Swami, I'm coming. Thank you for this seva. I'm coming for Satsangh. Please take care. Everything, all items of my diplomatic life, any problem I had, I always write to Swami, and Swami will help us. If we think that we are balancing our career, if we are taking a wrong decision. If it's not we that we do it, it's ultimately Swami takes care of us, whether we want it or not. See, for my own instance, I just joined Sevadal when I was 17 years old. My parents put me in one of the best schools, Sainik School, Korukonda, gave me the best education there, passed my CA Cambridge. But when I went to the college, I went to a rowdy college. I started smoking, I started drinking, I was doing all the bad habits. For 4 years, I took 3 years degree course. I took 4 years to pass that examination. And Swami told me, first time when I met him in Anantapur, at the construction of the Anantapur Women's College, I was there, we went there to Sevadal, I didn't even see Swami. My friend pulled me. I'm so grateful to my friend, Mr. Mohan, Mr. Hanmantrao, Mr. Matsudan. They pulled me to this Prabhuji. They pulled me to Sai Seva. Therefore, the friendship, good company matters. I went with them and Swami called me by name. Amy Romi. My parents called me Romi. What do you want? And then I was so stunned, he has intensified my faith. Then he said, you're in a bad company, run away. If a snake is sleeping on your bed, will you jump out or will you go slowly? Likewise, the bad habits like snakes, just run away from them. And then it took 7 years for me to give up my bad habits because I started writing letters from then onwards. It took so many letters, I used to plead with Swami. So unable to give up, please help me. In this particular way, we got to plead Swami. I'll tell you another nice incident. We went to Vrindavan for a Mahashivratri function. Swami in those days used to take out the Lingodbhavam and at the end of all Sevadal, Swami in those days used to give Pada Namaskaram and he used to give us a group interview. And we as a young boy, I know that, the moment Swami calls, or Ramana Rao calls, I rushed into the interview room. All of us came. And then more boys were getting into the room. Swami said, come closer. As I was sitting in the front row, Swami's lotus feet on my thigh. And Swami had to put his leg on my thigh. And Swami talking to us. Suddenly I realized that my cigarette packet, in those days I used to smoke, my cigarette packet was bulging out and Swami's lotus feet is touching the packet. I was shivering. The moment my leg is shivering, Swami leg also started shivering. Then Swami looked at it and see how Swami pardons us. I was praying, Swami, if you tell now, my Ramana Rao is a very strict boss, he will remove the scarf and he will send me off. Please don't point me out. Swami, I was just praying, I was not listening what you were saying. But then Swami is so loving mother. He never points out mistakes. He pointed out to the next boy and said, hey, it's so bad, you fool. Give it up, it spoils your line. He was scolding that boy and that boy was shivering. Swami, I don't smoke at all. In this way, Swami saves us. So many mistakes we do in our career, in our life, in everything. And then that's how we also, Swami tells the different stories also. In Bible, if you read, Lord Jesus, in the Last Supper, he called all the 12 disciples. Jesus knew that next day morning he will be arrested, he'll be crucified in the coming days. And he called his 12 disciples, gave them supper, dinner, and he asked for a bucket and a towel. And he started washing the feet of his 12 disciples. And each disciple was moving away the leg. He said, you are God, you are our master. How can you touch our feet? How can you wash my feet? Please don't do this, Lord. He said, tomorrow I will not be there with you. I have an opportunity to do this. What I am doing today, tomorrow you have to do to others. I am just showing you a method. In this way, he said again, one of you out of the 12 will deceive me. He is responsible for this. And all of them asked, I'm not the person. I'm not. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it, Lord Jesus? But Jesus never revealed the name. Likewise, we are doing thousands of mistakes, all our devotees, but he will never let us out. Because he's 1,000 mothers. One mother will save his child like a little child. And Swami will never reveal us. However wrong we may do, whatever wrong we may do, whatever career we may choose, he will never say no. He just supports. Everything what we do in Sathya Sai avatar, I've seen, he makes it right. Suppose if I do something wrong in my office or something bad is to somebody else, he makes it right. He protects us. Just like the cigarette packet in my pocket, but he pointed out somebody else. This is Sathya Sai Mata. This is how we got to learn to write to Swami, plead to Swami. Whatever mistake we write it and tear it, write it and tear it, write it and tear it. He is the mother. We seek his pardon. One fine morning, we'll get the wisdom not to repeat the things which we do. Likewise, Swami's last darshan. Please remember this. Swami, on March 20, he lifted both his hands to the lady's side, to the gent's side, to the lady's side. He kept on putting namaste. It never happened in the history of Sathya Sai avatar. He never has lifted his hands and did like this. He knew very well that it will be his last darshan. He has put namaskaram to whole of the Sai fraternity, to all the Sai Sevadal. Be united, be united, be united, be united. Take the love to every human heart. This is what he must have leaded us. It is our duty to remember this particular significance of namaskaram, significance of Lord Jesus washing the feet of his disciples, and significance of not revealing the name of people. Swami tells very clearly, stop criticizing others. 3 C's, stop comparing yourself, stop criticizing others, and be united, united, united. We have to bring unity among all the wings, Sevadal wings, Mahila Vibhag, spiritual wings, Sai centers, Bhajan wing, Sadhana wing. It's a duty of all elderly devotees like us to do our maximum effort and pray, Swami, make me an instrument. I am nothing in the organization, but make me an instrument to bring everybody together. That should be our goal. That should be our aim. That should be our focus in the present day context. I hope I'm not, I know whether I went away from the question, how to balance, but the best thing is to write letters, sir. Write letters to Swami, how to balance all the life.
Wonderful, sir. One more question. Swami says, you take one step, I will take 100. How do we experience this?
So, you ask any devotee, one good thing, what we do, suppose you do today is some seva, and see for yourself how that joy multiplies. Be it a Narayan Seva, all of us are involved in different types of Narayan Seva, Nagar Sankirtana, Bhajana. Participate. Take that one step properly. We hesitate. We take a step and go back 2 steps. Swami says, Sai Ram, you put 1 step and go back 2 steps. Put 1 step, Sai Ram, and then go back to 2-3 steps. We have to be determined, sir, to take forward the step firmly. Once we take 1 step forward, Swami will take 100 steps together. For instance, when I was regional passport of Hyderabad, it is a Muslim, Hyderabad is 40% Muslims are there, and we had a sadhana camp every day, just a study circle. I told about 150 people are there, 40 of them are known to Baba in indirect and direct way. I said them, all of us will have in lunch hour, a study circle. And then they wrote petitions to the government, to Delhi. Oh, this fellow is holding spiritual classes, Sai Baba classes in the lunch hour. Then my foreign secretary came and saw. He was so surprised, about the function of the office. They were so happy that all the staff were working beyond hours, performing 3 times more than the Mumbai office or Delhi time. Our output was so great. This spiritual service, when we take 1 step, Swami will help us. Then our own staff members said, oh, we are going to have Narayan Seva also in the compound. Then we used to have a lump sum biryani, laddu and all, wonderful Narayan Seva once a month in our office premises. Then we put up water camp. One step we do, hundreds of steps will follow. In this way, hundreds of staff members have been motivated, inspired. And again in Hyderabad, I ran into a big trouble. I should also tell you this experience. Some of the staff members, we have given a passport to terrorists. See, when we are doing a particular job, danger is always there. How Swami protects? And we have issued the passports. And I went to Kodai before I was going to Indonesia, the Counsel General, I was posted there. And I went to Kodai. Then Swami, he never calls, for interviews and all that. He was so happy that day. He called me. He said, you come for lunch today. And we went there and had lunch also with Swami, myself and family. Then he saw a ring, ordinary ring on my finger. He said that, oh, how much does it cost? I said, it's 150 rupees. Oh, you think Swami is so cheap? And he converted it into a Navaratna ring and put it on my finger. And I was on the 9th cloud and I was so happy. And I went back. By the time I reached Madras, Chennai airport, my call came from my PA. So yeah, we issued a passport to a terrorist and we are in a big trouble. Then for 8 years, the inquiry went on. CBI, all raw, everybody started, what are my links with the other organization? And one fine morning when I was in Saudi Arabia, the ring broke into 2 pieces. And that day I got a clearance from the police and also from my government that, Rommel, you are very clean. There's no case against you. Likewise, if you do anything good, the bad karma, which the 99 steps, we got some bad karma I have to suffer. And that 99 bad things Swami will remove with one good step. That is having Narayan Seva in the office, steady circle in the office, the good motive to transform others. One good step has saved me from some bad karma of many lives. Otherwise, I would have been in deep trouble. The SP, CBI told me very clearly, the chaps who did this wrong thing, you can tell out this thing. I said, I'm the head of office. I'm responsible for it. I cannot reveal anybody. It's up to you. And I never gave up their names. In this way, we have got a lot of bad karma accumulated within us. This one step will help us to remove that bad karma. This Namasmarana, with every time we do Ram, some good seva, somebody is feeling, like look at Shridhar Baba's life. He used to take food from 5 houses. He used to beg. And then he used to eat. And then he never used to swallow. I believe he used to go to a lake and then remove the intestine and wash away their papams, their bad karma. Likewise, Satya Sai Baba washes away all our bad karma. It takes everything. We think that, we are giving some Narayan Seva, some books, some donation, this thing we got to do. And this way we can nullify our bad karma and enjoy peace. Yes, sir.
Wonderful, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think a very apt message for us to reflect, follow, adopt, and take this sankalpa that Swami blesses us to realize the importance of spending that 6 hours a week or 6 hours a day, whatever be it, in work that is done with purity, such that the outcome of that is the experience of the divinity. And then, that oneness, as you said, will naturally happen. And when we are in oneness, there is no divisions. There is no factions. There is nothing. And that is that union with Sai that Swami has prayed to us. And let's take the sankalpa and pray that it happens one day when he wills that to happen. With that, thank you so much, sir. Grateful to Swami for having you with us today, and gratitude to him always to bring people like you to share your experiences and those what I would call bullet points that keep reminding us of not a whole book but the grand summary, which is be available to be in seva, experience him through that process. And I offer my gratitude to Swami and to you for the same. So we'll finish with Samasta Loka, and this Satsang series continues every week. I get to know the speaker probably a few days before that, and you will get to know that. Swami already knows who's the speaker. The process of getting the speaker and having him speak itself is a wonderful experience for those of us who are behind the scenes. Sai Ram, happy Ramanavami, and Samasta Lokas now. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय. Sai Ram, everyone. Until next week, stay safe in His work, in His name, contemplating every moment. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.